Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're talking about Axiom Verge. Now this is a Metroid game. Now a Metroidvania game, because to me a Metroidvania has to have RPG-esque elements, but a Metroidvania game. It's a very interesting Metroidvania game because while it follows many of the same formula ideas of having tools that allow you to progress further in that, it does a few interesting ideas. One of the first things is that there are many gun types, several that you can not even get. There's basically a few that are must that you're going to have to get, and then there's a whole bunch of side ones, and I never even found all of them, and there are so many different strats you could play, and there's just a lot of different variety with them. Ones that reflect, ones that blow up into bullets, ones that shoot like lightning beams, ones that do short distance. There's even like a yo-yo one I found that goes a short distance, but you can like ricochet it in a circular pattern to kind of hit multiple things. It's really bizarre. There are a lot of weird things. I know there was a lightning one I have of that, and like I said, I never even found them. A lot of these extra guns you get in the game are also found in secret areas that not only are, well, secretive, which is a normal staple of a Metroid-esque game, but on top of that, it is a bit randomish. There are these special zones where you can find some of the side guns in that are uniquely random in some of the placement. Now, they're like certain set places, so like they're not like 100% random, but you can have a little variation. And these places are like glitch areas, which is one of the real odd aesthetics. So the game like uses a very retro aesthetic look, but it also, on top of the retro stack, is this weird glitch kind of system. So it's very gamey in its aesthetic of the glitches. Like things blow up into bits. There's these things you can mess around and glitch enemies that change them. And glitch enemies can both cause a negative and positive effect to the game. But I'll get to the combat stuff. I'm just trying to go over some of the standout things. But the main aesthetic, like I said, is mostly to be retro with a lot of glitching in that. Like, you'll get a bomb that'll make a giant-ass explosion, and a lot of your powers are really bizarre. You'll start getting the power to go through small barriers, make this little robot thing, then you'll be able to teleport to it. You'll get like a bionic commando arm in that. Like, the game goes way crazy with a lot of weird power-ups and things you get in the game to explore and use as weaponry and that. Along with a few strange mutational things that happen to the character with finding unique power-ups. But, to its heart, it's a Metroid game, as I said. And you'll be looking around, running around in this gigantic maze facility. So the story setting for Axiom Verge, you play as a scientist that gets caught in an accident, and that he's just very well injured, and he passes out during it. And then he wakes up in a weird egg thing with someone calling towards him, telling him to go get the gun in the next room, and you're left to your own devices, unknown where you are or what's going on. The main character will quickly find that he is in a very strange and alienated world compared to where he lived on Earth, as you'll find many things that are out to murder you. So you're just left to your own devices to slowly figure out where the hell you are and what is going on. And that's a pretty good start for a simple game. Now the game, like I said, is Metroidvania at its heart, and it is just glorious because all the different guns give you a lot of different playstyle. I'm not the best at a Metroidvania. I'm a Metroidvania-ish person. When it comes to just Metroid-esque games, I'm not as good as them. I can enjoy some of them, but like actual Metroid, I'm really bad at actual Metroid. So when I went to get into this game, I wasn't sure if it was going to be for me, and it was perfectly playable for me. There was a lot of different tools that will help you if you're not as good or if you're really good. You can maximize all kinds of the tools. Now, one of the things that I have to say that is a little different from modern Metroid games is a lot of modern Metroid games have usually have like fast travel systems. In this game, in the middle, there's like a kind of a, I guess you could call it kind of a train-esque system where you can go there and get to different portions of the game over time as your tool set of exploring around the environment grows more and more. And you can use this as a means to get through the different areas as you become necessary to backtrack to find older areas that you needed newer tools to go through. But besides that, there's no real fast travel, so you have to actually get your legs moving for the most part to get to any old areas or to find secrets. Now, as I said, there are these secret little glitch areas you can find that you can unlock additional guns, and as I said, you can glitch enemies. Every enemy can be glitched with the unique gun you find. Now, glitching an enemy can be both positive or negative. Sometimes it can be negative to glitch them. They might become more threatening, while other times they might become more docile when glitched. Other times you even have to use the glitching mechanic to actually solve a bit of a puzzle in the room you might be particularly in. So there's a lot of different variations on what you can do or what you'll have to deal with and test around with. Environment wise, it's, like I said, mostly like Metroid. The few different things are different. I'd say, in my opinion, is just some of the weird glitching type things. Like I said, you'll get like a power that'll let you go through little small barriers later on, and you get this little kind of alien robot thing you can use to activate additional switches, and then later you can use it to let you get through a small tunnel and then teleport to where you get it to. It's really, really crazy the kind of bizarre things that the creator of this game decided to try and do with this game. There's a lot of very fun things you can do with it. Music wise, the game has some pretty nice beats in it. I wouldn't necessarily say they're going to be like in my CD drive to go and listen to on a car drive or anything, but there was some pretty good beats. The boss music's pretty good in that. And speaking of bosses, you might be wondering what kind of creatures are you going to be fighting exactly. Well, if you're familiar with Metroid-esque games, you're going to be fighting a lot of really big, strange alien things. Not a lot of these things are small. A lot of these things are very big, and you're going to be dealing with them. So you're going to have some fierce enemies. And of course, it being a Metroid game, there are many secret upgrades for your health, weapon destruction, and that to be found throughout the environment. There are many secrets. Now, if you're looking for like a completionist type thing, the game only has 2 endings, really. And to get one of the endings, you have to speed run the game and 100% like I think about everything in the game, so that one might be a little hard for some people to get. I didn't go for the little additional secret ending that you can get. I'm not a good speedrunner, and while on speedrunning, when you finish the game, you actually, well, actually, I can't remember if it was available at the beginning. It might have been available at the beginning. I can't quite remember, but there is a speedrunning mode that you can get a timer with. So, if you're into that thing, which a lot of Metroid players really love speedrunning for some reason, like hardcore Metroid people. They'll either speedrun Metroid or Metroidvania games, so you got that as an option. That, but honestly, I really enjoyed this game. It's very crazy. Now, this game is available on PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and Vita, and PC. As far as I know, there is no DRM-free version on PC, and there is no physical version on Xbox One. There is a physical version on... Oh, and it's also on the Wii U, actually. It's on the Wii U. And it is available physically on Wii U, Vita, PS4, and Switch. Now, the Wii U version was a limited one exclusive and is very expensive, while the other three versions you can get pretty reasonably priced, so you're not looking at a whole lot that's going to kill your wallet in that sense. But if you don't mind digital, this game goes for $19.99 full price digital, and like many indie games, it can be found on sale quite often. Like right now, I believe it's like $9 on PSN and such. So if that front is your thing, you could look for a sale if you want. But overall, all I can really say is it's just a really good Metroidvania game. It has a lot of the staples, and it kind of mixes up a lot of the elements that you've seen in a lot of normal Metroid games while progressing it. I haven't had any glitches in the game. I didn't really experience any. But I did get lost a few times, and when you play this kind of game, whether it be a Vania or just pure Metroid, that's pretty common to usually get lost at a point or two trying to find out where to backtrack to. And because, like I said, those things you can glitch enemies and environmental things that you have to do sometimes to solve little puzzles to continue forward. It can be a little tricky sometimes to find a few different things. But it encourages you to mess around and test what you can do to the enemies in the game. Because you can get a lot of weird effects. There's even something I even learned, that there's one power-up that's a whale drop off a glitched enemy. I don't remember what it was. It has like a small chance of giving you a power-up for the completionists. So, and of course, if you're into trophies and Steam achievements and Xbox achievements, this game does feature a platinum trophy. If you're crazy enough to go for the platinum, of course you have to go for all the gold. You want to get all the goodies if you want to get that sweet platinum. But overall, really, this was a very good game. But they're all like, if you're looking for some easy platinum, this isn't it. You need to be good at speedrun. Like, let's see, there's one for beating the whole game under 4 hours and stuff like that's crazy to me. So if you're in that kind of league, you'll be a bit of a problem though. But honestly, I don't really want to spoil too much of the game. It has all kinds of crazy ideas, and I'm trying to show a little bit of the beginning and show off some of the tools you get later on here in this video. But overall, I definitely recommend checking out Axiom Verge if you're a big Metroid fan. If you're only a Metroidvania fan and you want some RPG elements into your Metroid, then you'll probably want to skip this one. It does not feature any RPG elements of any caliber. All you have is the usual stuff where you can find upgrades that increase your health, damage, and such. So you're not going to find any leveling mechanics in this game. So I can't recommend it for the Metroidvania people, just the Metroid people. If you find a lot of Metroid games hard, there can be some difficult parts in this game, but because there's a lot of different guns you can find, you can likely find your few, like, 3 guns you like to switch between for situations. I mean, you can get creative with some of these guns. You can find, like, say, like the yo-yo thing I mentioned. It kind of goes through the ground a little, so if you got an enemy, like, directly below the platform, you can use it to harm stuff on below. The shotgun and one also can do that, too. You can find different angles and stuff. Now, being a lot focused on a lot of different types of guns, you might also wonder, because you can point up, down, left, right. You can do down when you jump, and at angles you might be like, is there any way to like do angling but stay still? There is a lock-on option for that, but I found you usually want to keep moving, so that's a little subjective of that. But anyway, I definitely recommend the game. I think it's definitely worth its full price of $20. I got a good 12 hours out of it, almost 13 hours of the game in my normal playthrough. It does feature a hard mode, and of course, lots of replay value if you're into looking for everything or completing it, or just mastering the game itself. There was a good number of time for the price, I'd say. Like I said, it's even better if you look for it on sale. Now, if you're looking to get a physical copy, like I always am, depending on the system you want, like I said, for the Wii U, it's going for outrageous prices around $100. If you're wanting the PS4, it seems to float between $15 to $20 used to new. And if you want Vita, that seems to float between $30 to $50. If you want Switch, it looks like Switch is... Looks like there's only... Looks like I can't even find any actual new Switch. That's interesting. For some reason, Amazon doesn't actually have any new listing. I guess the Switch version was limited. So for the Switch, there's 4 used copies available for $40, and then the Multiverse Collector's Box, there's 1 available from a third party. So apparently the Switch version is not very common, so that one looks like it's also going to be pretty pricey if you want to track down some of those, maybe between $40 and up, depending if you want the special Multiverse edition, which all physical versions did have a Multiverse and a standalone, so that's something to also keep in mind. I believe the Multiverse edition came with like a little art book, I think. Let's see if I can look here what it came with. Comes with disc, a Blu-ray documentary, exclusive art book, music CD, so you get a few things within that. So that part would depend on you, but for the game itself, I think $20 is definitely a great price for this game. I don't think there's any real need to see it on a sale unless you're just, low on money. I think the value is really good there myself. So about the spoilers then, let's just get on to the spoilers with the story. Personally, with the story, that's kind of, I didn't want to talk too much about it because the kind of mystery of what's going on in it is kind of the appeal to me when it comes to the story, because you're left very in the dark for a good while in the game, but you'll slowly find out you're on this alien world and that this guy has basically, killed all these aliens for knowledge and shit and to keep it away from them and stuff. It has a lot of interpretation when you go into the endings and stuff, and I'm not going to get too much into that part, but personally, I do feel it kind of left you a little too vague. Apparently the cradle originally was going to go into like a possible sequel or prequel and talk about multi-universe kind of ideas, but then apparently he's no longer interested in that, so there may not really be anything ever more about the storyline, sadly, which is a bit of a shame because a lot of people really liked this game. I did like trying to figure out what the fuck was going on, but you basically eventually find out that the bad guy is actually you, who was crippled and shit from the accident, and the last few of the aliens that are still here used his DNA to make a clone of himself so they could ask him to help fix all this shit. So you go and help with that, free the breach thing, and they send you back to Earth. And, well, you're just kind of left feeling empty. The secret ending, though, makes things a little more confusing as the villain actually shows up in the secret ending and shoots you, saying to wake up, Tracy. Which led a lot of people to speculate that maybe you weren't returned to Earth, that you might have been put to sleep or something, and maybe they weren't really as good as they claim to be, and I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to interpret the story. Like I said, I would leave that to your interpretation as you go through and finish the game. But yeah, if you want the secret ending where you get shot by the guy you took out, your real self, you have to speed run the game, and I believe you have to collect and complete the map, or at least complete the map, something in that regard. I didn't do it because it's too crazy for me. Too crazy for me. But honestly, this is a very good game. I recommend it full-heartedly. So, I'll see you out there in Space Cowboy Bebop, Freakzoids. And if you feel like you learned anything interesting in this one, feel free to leave a like down below. And if you feel like you learned nothing at all, feel free to leave a dislike. Feel free. Like I said, I didn't want to go too much into some of this because I really wanted to leave a lot of vague things for those who didn't want to get into the spoil aspects of the game, because I feel like that's some of the great fun in this particular game. But I did want to also show off some of the toys a little bit. So either way, thank you for joining, and until next time, be careful out there in the proving grounds.
どうだった？私の作った朝ごはん。感想だよ。感想。そうか、そう